Hey, so this is another DP-004-006 tutorial coming at you live from 424 Recording. This is all about exporting, so if you've ever had any issues exporting, I know I have, this is the video for you. First things first, I need to play the song that I recorded because there's a certain segment of people who watch these videos who seem to get really irate if I don't play them the song. They can't follow along. I'm not really sure why that is, but I guess we'll just chalk it up to them being super fans. I'm just going to play it for a bit. It's in mono. Hopefully you don't lose your cool because of that. There's 4 tracks on it: drums, guitar, vocal. So we're going to use that. All right, so that's the track. It's inspired by Harvey Keitel's character in From Dusk Till Dawn. I always thought that was a really interesting character, and I always like that line he says to George Clooney when they make it to the vampire club. He says, "Are you such a loser that you don't even know when you've won?" I feel like it's very poignant for myself and also for a lot of people I've known over the years. So there's 3 main ways that you can export tracks as waves on the DP-004-006. You can do it as entire songs, you can do it as individual wave files for tracks, or you can do stereo bounces of the entire mix as a wave. That's usually the one that I do, and we'll cover that one last. I actually covered it. If you have seen the other DP-004 videos, I've done 2 other ones about recording, mixing, and mastering, and I'll link those in the cards or whatever. The main thing with the DP-004 is that there's 3 different file folders when you load it onto your computer if you go via the SD card. There's the backup folder, the wave folder, and the utility folder. You can't quite see the tracks unless you create waves out of them on the machine itself. So it's not like a camera where you take a snapshot and it saves as a JPEG, and then you can take that card out of your camera and pop it into your computer and then just drag the JPEG onto your desktop. There's an extra step involved in which you have to tell the machine basically to create the waves for your stuff. So let's roll through song backup first. It basically backs up all the audio tracks if you need to save space or transfer them to the computer. And it's also cool because if you have friends who have these, you can transfer files between them using the backup files. So once your song is stopped, if you go to the home screen, press the menu key, and then you got to find data backup, and you hit this key right here, F4, I think it is. So now it says song backup, song restore. We want song backup, so you use the data wheel again, F4, boom. Now this song is called Reason, I believe. It has a little star next to it. I think that means it's the one that's open. So get your song and let's hit next. So now it's asking for a file name. I'm just going to leave it whatever that says, song 2U, song 002U. Okay. I'm not going to change the name. We'll just have to remember that that's what it is. I find that the changing the name on here is kind of annoying, so hit execute, EXEC. All right, so now it's storing the song as a backup. We'll have to connect this to the USB in order to get those files now. But basically it's writing all these individual tracks that we made, or that I recorded to, and now we're basically going to have all those as audio files. Any other data that I made is going to be saved. Sort of like a whole project backup, I suppose. It takes a little bit of time depending on how long your song is and how many tracks it is. And this is going to be in the backup folder of the SD card and also on when we connect the unit via USB. Okay, so I don't have the USB cable for this unit, but my computer has an SD card reader, so I just pop the SD card into the SD card reader, and it should pop up here in a second. There it is, DP-004. So if you have a USB, it should pop up as an external. If not, it pops up as an SD card. So here's the backup folder that I was talking about. And there it is, the song002u.001. It adds that extension to the file. I'm just transferring it to my desktop for backup. And boom. If you have other files in this format, you can similarly put them back onto your unit or send them to your friend so they can put them onto their unit. And as I was saying, this is a great way to transfer files between different units. Like I think somebody was asking how you get files onto this machine. This would be a really good way to do it. You'd basically have to do the opposite, which is restoring songs, which is kind of the opposite process. So that's a really efficient way to do it. And also, if you're working between multiple units, DP-004 units, you can send somebody your entire project as the backup, and they can restore it onto their DP-004. So in this part, we're going to export tracks as they're exported as 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz mono wave files. So we can export either one or multiple files that are in the song. So we're going to hit the menu key, head on down to Wave, and we're going to go export track, I believe. And now here are the four corresponding tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so with this button, we can add a check mark next to which ones we want to export as mono 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz wave files. For the sake of the demo, let's just do all of them. So check it. You can see the little check mark next to it. The little box gets filled up. I want all of them. Maybe you only want some of them. You can go back. Let's not do track 3. Maybe you didn't like the take of that. But if you do, and you want them all, select them all, catch them all, hit next. Now it says free space, 354, I think. I can't see from this angle, maybe 334 megs. Total 47 megabytes. So we're good. We have enough room. Execute it. Let's go. So now each track will be exported individually. All right, there we go. So now those files will be in the Wave folder. And now let's take a look in the Wave folder, and we have the 4 tracks right here. 01, 02, 03, 04. I'm going to drag them onto my desktop. And boom, now I have the tracks individually bounce to the desktop. Now the export to stereo master I've done before. It's in those other videos, like I was saying. If you have any questions about recording, mixing, and mastering, you can check it out there. When I say mastering, I mean exporting the stereo master. So far, we've backed up the project and also exported the individual waves. So let's now do one final stereo bounce of this one more time, just so we have all the 3 exporting methods in one video for you. So menu, we're going to go to Wave again. And this time we're going to go to Export Master, F4. So now you can rename it. I'm going to rename it something because I know I have a couple other masters. I don't want them to get overwritten. I know one is called Mix 001 and one is called Nix 001. So we're going to name this one Pix 001, just so it doesn't get overwritten, because if you name it the same thing, it's going to get overwritten. Execute. And if you want, you can change the name to whatever you want. I find it to be, it's tough on these type of machines to change the name. It's very tedious, so I just changed like a letter, and then you got to listen to them, or maybe you'll remember which is which. So now we're exporting the master. This file will also be found in the Wave folder of the SD card or the USB connection. All right, so let's check out the waves now. Now I have some older ones, but like I was saying, I changed the extension to Pix T001. And now I'm just transferring that to my desktop, and that's the stereo master of the track. So if you ever open the file directory and you can't find the tracks that you're looking for, it's because you need to bounce them down to waves into one of these exporting methods that we just did. The file structure is backup, wave, and utility. Utility is used for updating the OS. Wave is where your bounces, individual tracks are going to show up as waves, as .wavs. And backup is where you'll find the entire projects backed up. But it doesn't happen automatically. You have to manually go through and say, hey, I want this project back up into this folder. Hey, I want this wave. Hey, I want this stereo master. It's not very intuitive because it's not like a camera where you take a snapshot, you take a movie, and it immediately appears on the SD as a .mov or a .jpg. Unfortunately, there's just an extra step involved, but with this video, you should be able to cover all your exporting needs. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to become a patron at patreon.com/424recording, it really helps out, really helps make the vids. Yeah.